No one noticed him until the day he stopped asking for coins. People had walked past him for years, but that morning something in his eyes made them look twice. It was the look of a man who had lost everything and finally decided he would not lose himself. His name was Samuel, though on the street no one called him by any name at all. He slept near the old bus stop, on flattened cardboard that barely kept the cold from biting into his bones. Each morning he woke before sunrise, not because he wanted to, but because hunger had its own alarm clock. The city moved fast around him. Shoes clicked on pavement, engines roared, laughter floated past, and Samuel sat still, holding out his hand, hoping someone would slow down long enough to see him. Once, long before the street became his home, Samuel had dreams. He had been a young man with strong hands and louder hopes. He believed hard work always paid off. He believed tomorrow would be better. Then life tested every belief he had. His small workshop failed after a fire he could not afford to recover from. His wife fell ill, and hospital bills swallowed what little savings he had left. When she passed away, something inside him went quiet. He stopped fighting for a future he no longer believed in. The first day he begged, he told himself it was temporary, just until things improved. Days turned into months, and months into years. Temporary became normal. The street did not judge him, but it slowly erased him. People stopped meeting his eyes. Some dropped coins without looking. Others avoided him, as if poverty were contagious. Samuel began to believe what the world showed him every day, that he was invisible. One afternoon, rain poured without warning. Samuel crouched under a leaking shelter, clutching his thin jacket. As water soaked his clothes, he watched people run past, protecting themselves from the storm. A boy no older than 10 stopped in front of him. The child stared at Samuel, then at the empty cup by his side. "Why do you stay here?" the boy asked. Samuel opened his mouth to answer, then closed it. He had no clear reason. The boy's mother hurried back, apologized, and pulled him away. But the question stayed. Why do you stay here? That night, Samuel could not sleep. The rain had stopped, but the boy's words echoed louder than thunder. He realized something painful. He had been waiting for life to change without changing anything about himself. He had accepted the story the streets told him, and for the first time in years, that thought made him angry. The next morning, Samuel did something different. Instead of holding out his hand, he stood up. His legs trembled, weak from years of stillness, but he stood anyway. He folded his cardboard and tucked it under his arm. When hunger clawed at him, he reminded himself that he had survived worse. He walked through the city, not as a beggar, but as a man looking for a chance. Rejection came quickly. Shops turned him away before he finished speaking. Some laughed, some ignored him. By midday, doubt returned, heavy and familiar. But then he remembered the boy's question, and he kept walking. Near evening, he reached a small bakery. The owner, an elderly man with tired eyes, listened without interrupting. Samuel did not ask for money, he asked for work, any work. The man studied him for a long moment, then handed him a broom. "Clean the back," he said. "No pay today, food only." Samuel nodded. He swept with a focus he had forgotten he possessed. He scrubbed floors until his arms ached. When the man gave him a loaf of bread at the end of the day, Samuel held it like a gift. It was the first thing he had earned in years. He returned the next day, and the next. Weeks passed. The bakery owner began paying him a little. Enough for meals, enough for a shared room, enough to start believing again. Samuel learned to wake early, to show up, to do his best even when no one was watching. With every small step, his posture changed. His eyes lifted. His voice grew steadier. One morning, a customer complained about burnt bread. Samuel apologized, though it was not his fault. After the customer left, the owner watched him closely. "You have patience," he said. "That matters." Those words stayed with Samuel. He realized patience had saved him. Patience with rejection, patience with slow progress, patience with himself. Months later, Samuel was no longer sweeping floors. He learned to bake. His hands, once stiff from cold nights, now shaped dough with care. He began teaching younger workers, encouraging them when they made mistakes. They listened, not knowing the road he had walked, to stand beside them. One evening, as Samuel closed the shop, he saw a familiar shape near the bus stop. Another man sat there, cup in hand, eyes tired. Samuel approached him and offered bread. The man looked up, surprised. "Why are you helping me?" he asked. Samuel smiled gently. "Because I know how hard it is to believe again." The city had not changed. People still rushed past. Life was still difficult. But Samuel had changed. He no longer waited to be seen. He chose to see himself differently first. His story spread quietly, not through headlines but through actions, through showing up, through refusing to let the past decide the future. He learned that believing did not erase pain, but it gave pain a purpose. And the lesson Samuel carried with him was simple and true. When you change what you believe about yourself, your life begins to follow. Even the smallest belief held with courage can lead you out of the darkest place and into a future you once thought was